The other day, I had a great opportunity as a filmmaker that reminded me why I love to make films. And as filmmakers, we are always concerned about time. We talk about it all the time. Literally, 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second. We go to take a picture. Is that picture going to be exposed at 1/8 of a second, 1/4 of a second, 30th of a second, 60th of a second? We are concerned about time, and we always want to capture that time and then tell a story about the time that we captured. And that's when my son walked in and said, "Hey, let's go down to the hardware store where we can buy a 10-foot section of PVC pipe." "Well, why would we do this?" I asked. "So I can build a rail and practice my skiing down a rail." Genius! There is a storm coming in, so as we drove to the hardware store, it is literally snowing. We come home from the hardware store, we pack up the car with his skis and his boots, I grab my iPhone gimbal, my GoPro gimbal, and out the door we go to find a nice hill where we can build a rail. As soon as he jumps out of the car, I turn on the gimbals and out I go. It was so much fun to sit there in a snowstorm and try a variety of different shots, from the high to the low, from the left to the right. Then some things began to happen organically. He would leave his goggles in the snow and you could frame it up and get him walking across. He would leave his skis in the snow. I could look down and then literally track all the way across the skis. Once we had built the rail, it was time to film him skiing, and in my head, I could see the timeline begin to develop in front of me. I was capturing a moment in time that would never repeat itself. And so I tried to film him from as many different angles as possible, because I knew when I got to my timeline how those clips were going to go in order. And I also knew that I could then present him with something, a simple video clip that we could carry on forward for all of eternity. Now, it was fun to mention while I'm out there shooting that I realized the limits of my technology. My iPhone XR, well, if you shoot in slow-mo, it really is only 720, right? 4K doesn't give you a whole lot of frames, and I knew, because we've only got 10 feet of PVC pipe, that he wouldn't be on it for long. I was then hoping that my GoPro, a GoPro 6, would have a little better capabilities, and not so much. I could shoot in 4K, but it really wasn't at a high frame rate. So then I had bumped down to 1080p, which would give me enough frames, and then wouldn't you know it, the whole thing kind of fritzed out on me a little bit. Despite all of this technology, that I didn't have the best equipment at the highest end with the quickest frame rates, I was still able to capture time. I was still able to tell the story of buying this piece of PVC, building a rail, and watching my son go down it, all while it is snowing outside and we know a snowstorm is coming. This is why we are filmmakers, to capture time and have a great time with it. I hope you enjoy the clip that I created. I will share it with you. Once again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe in the description below. I'm Oliver Wiehe, and welcome to my winter wonderland.